What's up everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. So today's What If Mini is one that I got suggested a lot. A scenario that seems pretty interesting, but overall won't change enough to be a full scenario. But that doesn't mean noticeable changes don't exist, not in the slightest. This entire concept would actually alter Dragon Ball Super quite a bit. But why do I say Dragon Ball Super and not Z? Well, you'll see as the video goes on. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,000 likes, and with that out of the way, let's discuss what would happen if Vegeta learned the Kaioken. So as I mentioned, this scenario would affect Dragon Ball Super. And no, I'm not including Z here for a certain reason. And why is that? There's not too many opportune moments for Vegeta to learn Kaioken in Z. So let's look back on Z a bit. Well, obviously in the Saiyan saga and Namek, there's no way for Vegeta to learn it. And then we go on to the Android saga. There, Vegeta was more focused on learning Super Saiyan, and really he was training on his own. He wouldn't want to go train with King Kai or Goku for that matter. As we move forward in the Android saga, there's still not really too much of an opportunity. When everyone's training in the Room of Spirit and Time, Vegeta's busy training with Trunks, while Goku's busy training with Gohan, trying to learn Super Saiyan Grade 4. Vegeta can see King Kai during the 10 days before the Cell games, but it seems very unlikely. And of course, during the 7 years, both Goku and King Kai are dead, so they're probably not going to be training with Vegeta anytime soon, because they're busy training with each other and being dead. But after all of that, there is one good time for Vegeta to learn Kaioken. After the Buu saga is over, there's a few years between then and Battle of Gods. And not only is this a good time to learn it, there's also a good enough reason here for Vegeta to pursue it in the first place. After Kid Buu's defeat, Vegeta has already recognized Kakarot is simply a better warrior than him, and Vegeta begins thinking he wants to try and learn some things from him. No, not that Super Saiyan 3 form, it's obviously quite flawed. But Vegeta's thinking to himself, and he gets a good idea, but it's something that he doesn't really know yet. So, he consults Goku about it. His idea is pretty simple. Using that Kaioken form that Goku had from before, maybe they can find a way to combine it with Super Saiyan. I mean, they are experts at Super Saiyan after all, and have mastered it to the point of using it with no stamina loss. With control like that, Goku may be able to combine it with Kaioken. And even better, Vegeta can learn it for himself. Goku's actually intrigued with this, and he takes Vegeta up on the offer. They'll try and see if they can do this Super Saiyan Kaioken thing, as well as teaching Vegeta how to use the technique. Either Goku himself can teach him it, or they could be visiting King Kai a couple times. I mean, as we did see in Battle of Gods, Goku did still train with King Kai occasionally, so there's no reason for him to not bring Vegeta along there too. Naturally, it doesn't take too long for Vegeta to learn it, but he does come to learn the downsides of it. Of course, he knew it was strenuous for Kakarot before, but Goku definitely has more control over it now than he did in the Saiyan saga. Not to mention, access to higher levels than Vegeta. There is a definite learning curve, but Vegeta is eventually able to get the hang of it. And over these few years, they practice with it a little more, including it in their normal training. Not only does this make them stronger, but they get more experience with Kaioken, and eventually, they are able to find a way to combine it with Super Saiyan. Based off the multipliers alone, Super Kaioken would actually be much more effective than Super Saiyan 3, not only in terms of power, but it could actually be more efficient, although still strenuous. Of course, it's not going to be as efficient as something like Super Saiyan 2, for example. It probably would be on the same level as Super Saiyan 3 actually, they'd only be able to use it for the same amount of time. Very brief periods, but the thing is, since the power from it is so much more potent, it's more efficient by default. It's not like Vegeta wanted to learn Super Saiyan 3 anyways. This actually seems better because he can use Kaioken on its own, and it empowers his regular Super Saiyan form, in a better way than Super Saiyan 3 even would. Goku and Vegeta are of course proud of their results. And it's good that they got stronger, because their next threat wants a strong rival, that being Beerus. So overall, having Super Kaioken wouldn't really change too much in Battle of Gods. The only big change I could see happening is Vegeta's fight with Beerus. When Beerus actually causes Vegeta to get enraged, Vegeta would have a lot more power behind his attack. Instead of just going into Super Saiyan 2 out of rage, he might just go into Super Kaioken instead, making him a lot more powerful, and actually leaving some marks on Beerus. Still, he's no real challenge for Beerus until Vegeta does get the God Ritual done on him. Yeah, that's another big change here. After seeing Vegeta's power once he was fully enraged, Beerus might be so impressed by it that he'd rather have Vegeta get the ritual done on him instead of Goku. But, like I said before, Battle of Gods doesn't go too differently. Even though Vegeta's getting the ritual done on him, the outcome of the fight is still the same, as is the aftermath, which leads to Goku and Vegeta training under Whis, on Beerus' planet. The two are already much stronger due to their training from beforehand, and instead of one being ahead of the other, the two are at the same level consistently. So, right from the get-go, they're already making more progress. And eventually during their training, they do end up getting Super Saiyan Blue, and with Saiyans being Saiyans, right away, they want to see if they can surpass this somehow. They already combined Kaioken with Super Saiyan, so why not try combining it with Super Saiyan Blue? Sure, Super Saiyan Kaioken was useful before, and occasionally they still can use it in easier fights, but really, it serves as a stepping stone to get Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Although there is a bit of an issue here. The likelihood of them getting Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken by Resurrection F, it's pretty unlikely. Goku didn't end up getting it until he trained for 3 years in the Room of Spirit and Time with Vegeta. Not to mention, in Resurrection F, them not having enough power wasn't the issue. No, they had more than enough power. The issue was their mentalities, which do stay the same, and as a result, Resurrection F stays the same. Again, no real changes here, but we start seeing more changes once the Universe 6 tournament comes around. Specifically, once we see Vegeta versus Hit. Naturally, all the matches beforehand would go the same. There's no real reason for them to go differently. But versus Hit, Vegeta's actually doing better in Super Saiyan Blue. Although, there is the issue of Hit's time skip. Vegeta has to figure out a way around it somehow. And I think you guys can tell what he's going to decide to do. As he figures out Hit's strategy and his technique, Vegeta then realizes a plan that he can use. He has something up his sleeve, something that he was saving and something that Kakarot was saving because they weren't sure if they needed it. But Vegeta realizes, if he greatly surpasses Hit, just for a moment even, he can counter Hit's time skip. And there is a great way to do that, bringing out Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan Blue. They've had this idea since before Resurrection F started. And they've had more than enough training since then. Not only that, since both of them have access to it, they've been able to build off each other. Those 3 years of training in the Room of Spirit and Time were a lot more effective. They got much stronger than before, and they were able to further refine Blue Kaioken. Originally when Goku used it, he wasn't sure if it would even work. He thought he might explode if he used it. But with 2 brains working together, they're able to figure out more ways to use this effectively. So, Vegeta actually already has some practice with Blue Kaioken. He just didn't want to break it out because he knew it was kind of taxing on his body. He shouts, going into Kaioken times 10. And it's actually enough to throw Hit off guard. Knowing Vegeta, he has more of a brute force type strategy than what Goku has. So, not only is his power very effective, but his personality too. He would probably try to end the fight quicker. As he lunges towards Hit, Hit tries to time skip, but there's 2 issues here. One, Hit hasn't progressed enough. Against Goku, he was nearly ahead by a whole second. Here, his time skip is only a fraction of a second still, and also, Vegeta is so much faster that Hit can't even make up for it. With a flurry of punches, so fast that Hit can't even counter them, Vegeta stuns the assassin, landing a kick that sends Hit flying in the air. Vegeta then jumps up. As he begins charging an attack midair, he stretches his arms out, as purple electricity sparks around him. Flinging his hands forward, he then unleashes a final burst cannon towards Hit. It's so powerful that it's able to knock Hit out of the ring. And since Hit is midair, and he's pretty much stunned right now, there's no way for him to defend. Vegeta takes the win here. Too bad Goku didn't get to fight again. Same for Monaka. They really wanted to see what he was capable of. And of course, Vegeta getting the win here is going to affect the next arc, because Zamasu will see this, and instead of stealing Goku's body, he decides to go for Vegeta instead. In Zamasu's eyes, he didn't really see Goku do much, and Vegeta seemed to be the stronger one, not knowing Goku is basically equal at this point. So, we're going to get Vegeta Black here. Overall, the arc begins normally. Trunks arrives back in the past, and then out of some portal, Vegeta Black appears. Of course, seeing this imposter, Vegeta is pretty pissed off. It only seems natural that Vegeta would try to go for the kill here. Rightfully so, and he's more than capable of doing it. Although, Vegeta Black would probably see through this. Vegeta goes blue and punches Black once, sending him into the ground. As Black looks up, he sees Vegeta charging an attack towards him. And he kinda has an oh crap moment and gets the hell out of there, teleporting back to the future. And pretty much in the same fashion as Goku Black, he ends up getting access to Super Saiyan Rose, which he promptly shows off to Vegeta later on. The thing is, after they travel back in time, they need to figure out a way to defeat Zamasu and Vegeta Black, and much like normal, everyone goes for the same methods. Goku tries to learn the Mafuba, as Vegeta goes to train on his own. And this has some pretty big implications later on. Once they return to the future, Vegeta is now finally powered up, ready to face Vegeta Black. In Super Saiyan Blue alone, Vegeta greatly outpaces the imposter. The two clash, with Vegeta Black surprised. How did Vegeta get so strong so quickly? It's no use. Not only is Vegeta stronger defensively, but offensively too. The two continue their fight with Vegeta having the clear upper hand. Vegeta Black then brings out his Sickle of Sorrow, formed out of his pure anger. With one swipe, he slices it towards Vegeta, but Vegeta catches it between both his hands before it hits him. It's strong, and he's having trouble holding it back. But Vegeta then tells his imposter something. Despite having his body, he's not the same person. He lacks a couple things. For one, Vegeta's self-proclaimed genius mind, but he grins as he tells Black. There's another thing he's forgetting. Black chuckles. What could it possibly be? Even with Vegeta's impressive strength right now, Vegeta Black can power up further and find a way to defeat Vegeta. But Vegeta chuckles. In a very matter-of-fact tone, he says one thing: Kaioken. Vegeta Black looks in shock as a powerful red aura illuminates the area. His sickle completely disappears, shattering in Vegeta's hands. In what feels like an instant, Vegeta then appears right in front of Vegeta Black. As Black looks down, Vegeta's hands are on his chest. Vegeta grins as he lets out a double Gallic cannon, incinerating Vegeta Black in a similar fashion to how WhIMs died. pinkish red bits of energy fall from the sky, alongside burnt up remains of Vegeta Black's clothes. Vegeta has killed him, but there's still the issue with Zamasu. He's immortal, and they don't really know how to counter him. It turns out the Mafuba's not going to work, because they ended up forgetting the seal. But now, without Vegeta Black in the picture, they're able to buy some time. Maybe they don't need the seal, they could just make their own. Zamasu isn't necessarily strong, so Vegeta and Goku together are more than enough to hold him off. In Super Saiyan Blue alone, it's overkill, and they're able to buy a lot of time. Ripping off a piece of his scarf, Trunks then starts writing on it with mud. Looking in the video that Piccolo provided, he's able to replicate the seal. And as Zamasu desperately tries to hold off Goku and Vegeta, he's then cut off by an energy wave as Trunks then seals him, successfully landing the Mafuba and being able to seal the evil Kai. Amidst the celebration, suddenly Shin and Gowasu then show up. Glad to hear what's happened, Gowasu takes the contained Zamasu, ensuring to get rid of it somehow. Everyone says their goodbyes, and thankfully, this arc ends peacefully. Trunks gets to keep his timeline, as both Vegeta Black and Zamasu are defeated. Next up, naturally we have the Tournament of Power. So, what changes here? Well, in the Tournament of Power, both of them are stronger from the start. From both Goku and Vegeta's training, a common occurrence throughout this video has been the fact that they've been stronger. They had better training in the Buu Saga, and it snowballed ever since then. They kept training and using Kaioken. Although in the start of the Tournament of Power, the fights were all really easy for Goku and Vegeta anyways, so it's not really going to change much at the beginning. Changes do occur in the latter half though. For example, once Goku and Vegeta end up facing Jiren, I feel it's unlikely that Vegeta will get Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. If anything, he would probably just try pushing Kaioken higher. Even if he did get Blue Evolution, it wouldn't really matter too much here because, as we've been told, Blue Kaioken times 20 is equal to Blue Evolution. By going into Blue Evolution, Vegeta would probably lose access to Kaioken because he doesn't have experience using the two together, meaning he wouldn't have an increase in power whatsoever. And plus, this is good for Goku too. Since the two both have good training with Kaioken, they both try to go beyond their limits once more. I'm not talking times 10 or even times 20 here. Briefly, the two push past their limits into times 40. And this power actually impresses Jiren somewhat. Although, it probably wouldn't do much because Jiren still isn't at his full power. We saw how much they did against him before, and even with their stronger multipliers and their increase in power, it's probably not going to do too much to Jiren in the long run. Although, Vegeta's lucky, because this means his fight with Toppo will be a lot easier. It's much more one-sided, since Vegeta is stronger from the get-go, and has the same amplification and power that Blue Evolution would have given him regardless. And of course, for a brief period, he can flare up into times 40. Instead of having to use a final explosion, his regular energy attacks are enough to negate Toppo's attacks. And without having to explode himself, he's in much better shape later on. In his last stand against Jiren, he has a lot more power to spare, and it's all or nothing now. He powers up into times 40 on top of Blue, trying to face Jiren alone. He actually catches the Pride Trooper off guard a bit, getting some good hits in, but Jiren is able to recollect himself, fortifying himself and powering up even further. With a single attack, he's able to knock Vegeta out, but due to Vegeta being in better condition, he lends more energy to Goku, and this has a ripple effect. Of course, Goku's not going to be doing much against Jiren, until he goes into Ultra Instinct once more, finally having the completed version of it. And as I've said a bunch, not only is Goku stronger in his base now, but he actually got some more energy from Vegeta. Goku gets a little bit more of an upper hand against Jiren here. And in that final moment where he's about to knock Jiren out, instead of losing Ultra Instinct right away, he has just enough energy to help him last a little longer. Sadly, we don't get the cool Goku and Frieza team up, but instead, Goku gets the win here against Jiren, knocking Jiren out of the ring while in Ultra Instinct, then immediately proceeding to lose Ultra Instinct. The changes weren't as drastic as the last two arcs. Next, we have Broly. Of course, by this time, Goku and Vegeta both know the benefits of using Kaioken. They realize, if they practice using this more in tandem with Super Saiyan Blue, they can refine it some more. We've seen this multiple times throughout the main series, and in this scenario too. And the more experience they get with it, the better they get at using it. And this is important, because after Broly powers up into Super Saiyan, the two Super Saiyan Blues attack together. They're about to teleport away, but they have one last shot at landing an attack on Broly. In the scene where they're trying to escape, for a very brief period, possibly just a second or even less, they try to amplify themselves as much as possible. In the blink of an eye, they power up into Blue Kaioken, far beyond the multipliers from before. This time, they're in Kaioken times 100. A very, very risky technique, and as I mentioned, one that they can only use for probably a split second, but that split second is just enough. With a combined Gallic Gun and Kamehameha, the two launch their attacks at Broly. The beams are absolutely massive, with such power that it destroys the area around it. Broly surprised as he sees the attack coming towards him, and tries to block it, but as it makes contact, it explodes with a magnificent mushroom cloud. With this combined attack in Blue Kaioken times 100, they were able to deal enough damage to knock Broly out, stopping his rage and preventing him from powering up even further. Of course, Frieza's not too happy. He goes up to Broly, preparing to kill him, but then Vegeta steps in. He's learned from Resurrection F. He won't let Frieza get away this time. Even if Frieza helped in the tournament, he doesn't care. Stretching one hand out, he launches a blast at Frieza that kills the Emperor, finally getting his revenge from before. But now there's the issue of the unconscious Broly. They don't know what to do with him, but thankfully, Chi-Lai teleports him away using the wish from the Dragon Balls, thinking that Goku and Vegeta wanted to kill him. For the second time in the scenario, they didn't need to rely on fusion. No Vegito in the Zamasu arc, and no Gogeta in the Broly movie. As for the Moro arc, I don't feel like Vegeta having Kaioken will change much. Sure, both of them will be stronger, but as we've seen in this arc, pure strength doesn't matter. They were more focused on technique here, so that's not really going to change much, and the arc will probably continue as normal, barring that little cameo that Frieza had, because, he's dead here. But anywho, I think that's it. So overall, there's a few big changes, but not enough to make a full scenario out of. Vegeta is treated a lot better here in terms of wins. He's the one to discover Super Kaioken, he's the first Super Saiyan God, he gets a win against two main antagonists, which also helps save Trunks' future. Plus, they don't need to rely on fusion at all in Dragon Ball Super, and Vegeta finally got to kill Frieza. First Trunks, then Goku, and now Vegeta finally got his turn. Everyone gets to kill Frieza. Awesome! But that about sums it up. So, what did you guys think about this video, and what would you have changed if anything? And I have a question for you. Would you like to see Vegeta learn Kaioken in the main series? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to check out the comments and see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future videos that I upload, including ones like this. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.